Welcome back, my loves. We have made it through some of the most challenging astrology of the year. April is behind us, and now we welcome May, which is one of those months that has two very distinctly different flavors to it. It starts with grounding, slowness, and a big delicious exhale after the intensity of Aries season, but as we move towards the end of the month, we are finishing it off with a flash of brilliance, intelligence, and a lot of quick-witted Gemini energy. Let's walk through it all together day by day. The interesting thing about May 2026 is that we have two full moons. We have one on the 1st of May and one on the 31st of May. So this alone tells you that there is going to be quite a bit of loaded emotional energy in May. The first full moon, taking place on May 1st, is a full moon in Scorpio. And this is a full moon that encourages us to dig a little bit deeper below the surface. Any emotions that we've been pushing down, that we haven't allowed ourselves to feel, so they have now become suppressed, but also stagnant, and may have begun to fester, which is what emotions do when we don't deal with them and just push them into our subconscious. This full moon is the perfect opportunity to deal with those. Mercury also conjuncts Chiron during this full moon. And Chiron, as you will see during the course of this video, is actually going to be very active throughout the new moons and full moons this month. So that is telling us that there is healing available. It may be unpleasant at first because the things that we've been pushing down and ignoring and numbing will come out in a way that they will reveal themselves to us, but there is healing available on the other side of that. So that makes it a great time for journaling, for active shadow work, a therapy session, or even just having a very deep, meaningful conversation with people that you trust. If you'd like to go deeper into how to make the most of both full moons that we're going to have in May and the new moon, how to work with the astrological energy to create something that you're proud of living, then make sure that you subscribe to my free newsletter, Manifestology, in which we go into a lot more detail and I'm giving you practical rituals, techniques and tips on how to make the most out of the energy. 2 days later, on the 3rd of May, Mercury enters Taurus. And after the impulsiveness and the fieriness of Aries energy, this is a slow, gentle exhale. Thinking becomes much slower, but honestly, that is not necessarily a bad thing. You might find yourself being more deliberate with your thoughts, more slow-paced, and also more stubborn. Taurus stubbornness is a real thing, but so is Taurus perseverance. So that actually makes it a great time to work with and learn anything that takes time, that you have to go over again and again and again, because you have that mental perseverance with Mercury in Taurus. Mercury won't be in Taurus for very long. It's only staying there for 2 weeks. So if there are some kind of projects and plans, or maybe something that you want to learn about that you've been struggling with a little bit because our attention spans have been very, very short and difficult to deal with while Mercury was in Aries, these 2 weeks from the 3rd of May onwards are the perfect time to go into that. On the 6th of May, Pluto stations retrograde. And this is yet another sign of things slowing down a little bit and giving us a little bit of breathing space after the insane, crazy Aries energy that we've all just experienced. When Pluto stations retrograde, our transformation turns inward. It's less about outside influences and events that force us to transform, like literally like displacing your home or having to change a job or any of the other things that might happen that force you to transform who you are as a person. Now all of this turns inward. Now is the time to dig deep and dive deep into our psyche and find the things that are buried. Echoing that theme from the full moon, we're seeing a story developing here, really. Again, this is not usually a process that is very comfortable or fun. But the more you resist it, the longer you drag it out. So the best thing to do with Pluto energy, Scorpio energy, any of the kind of things that make you dig beneath the surface is to just embrace it, dive into it, get it done and over with so you can move on. Whereas if you are resistant to change and you're holding on to the way things were or the way that you think things should be, it's going to become a very long and dragged out process, and you're just dragging out the pain for no reason. I know this is easier said than done, but it's just something that's worth bearing in mind. On May the 13th, we have another planetary body moving into Aries. Just as some of the other ones are moving out of Aries, we now have Vesta moving into Aries as well. Vesta is an asteroid which is representative of devotion, of sacred commitment, of the things that you show up for day after day after day after day. Come hell or high water, you're there for those. When Vesta moves into Aries, we bring that devotion to ourselves, to our ego, to our identity, to our physical body, and to our personality. So maybe in April, some seeds were planted about the new person that you're becoming, about how you are evolving into a new identity. Now, Vesta moving into Aries asks you to, well, put your money where your mouth is, essentially, and to show up as that person day after day after day, to have that element of devotion to this new personality that is emerging and being born for you. The 14th of May is one of 2 days in the month of May that are very, very particular in terms of thinking, where you for sure want to be carrying around a notepad or your phone or somewhere where you can jot down insights, flashes and sparks of brilliance, because there will be abundant on those 2 days. So on the 14th of May, we have a Mercury Cazimi, but not only is Mercury conjuncting the Sun, both of those are also meeting Ceres in the sign of Taurus. So this is bringing forward themes of nourishment, of how you look after your body, how you look after your health, how you look after your finances, how you care about and demonstrate that level of care. Any themes surrounding Taurus, so again, that's the body, the physical senses, your financial situation, the things that bring you comfort when we're talking about Ceres as well. You might have some illumination about how you were doing things thus far that haven't truly been nourishing you. Maybe you have some illumination about what you should do with your finances, new savings goals, some investment ideas, ideas for a new job or a new source of income. Make sure you pay attention to those on this date, because there is brilliance that is available to all of us with Mercury Caziming the Sun. I don't know if that's a word, Caziming. Well, it is now. And of course, if you'd like to understand specifically what area is being illuminated for you, where there are new opportunities and doors opening for you, then that's exactly the kind of thing that we can look at in a personal consultation. If you're interested in that, I will leave the link for that in the description bar below. On the 16th of May, we have a new moon in Taurus. New moons are all usually, depending on what else is going on, but usually they are the perfect opportunity to set new intentions, to work on your manifestations, to do some little rituals and whatever you want to bring into your life. And in the sign of Taurus, that is specifically relevant to material abundance, which is, if not the number one, then at least the number two thing that we usually want to manifest more of in our life. This is your green light for vision boarding sessions, making a list of intentions, abundance rituals, or just becoming really clear on what it is that you want to experience materially and with your physicality and with your physical senses in your life. Now, on the same day, Mars also conjuncts Chiron. Like I said at the start of the video, Chiron's being very active with the moons this month. So this makes it a little bit of a more charged combination. Mars meeting Chiron in Aries ignites a sort of fighting spirit around our wounds, our deepest wounds, especially around the ego, or where we have been minimizing ourselves in the past. It can bring up this kind of, I'm not willing to tolerate X, Y, and Z anymore, and I'm just going to shut it out of my life. So pay attention if that comes up. Because if it does, then chances are that whatever does come up, whatever it is that you're not willing to tolerate and deal with and put up with anymore, is exactly the thing that is standing in the way of your material manifestations that you're wishing for. So consider that a helping hand. It might be a bit of a conflict that comes up on that day, but it is a helping hand in helping you overcome a certain thing that is blocking you and stopping you. One day later, on the 17th of May, Mercury comes home into Gemini. And this is one of those transits where you very noticeably feel the shift, because Taurus is one of the slowest signs of the zodiac where a planet can be. And it's then moving into Gemini, which is one of the quickest. So our thinking process becomes a lot more creative, a lot quicker. And also Mercury in Gemini has this wonderful ability to just pick up an idea, run with it, explore it, experiment with it, discuss it, and not get attached to it, and then be able to just put it back down and move on to the next idea, which is honestly a very, very undervalued and underestimated sign of intelligence that we all get to tap into when Mercury moves into Gemini. It makes a perfect time for brainstorming ideas, having discussions with people, doing a lot of research as well. The mental energy is going to be very playful and light. So my recommendation is don't resist that, just run with it and see where it takes you. One day later, because Uranus has just moved into Gemini, Mercury meets Uranus. So on the 18th of May, that's the second of our two brilliant and illuminating days that we're going to have in May. This one is more geared towards unusual ideas that may come through. This is where we think outside of the box, where seemingly out of the blue, new insights come in that you never could have achieved or reached with normal logical thinking, normal quote unquote. We're making connections between 2 points that we wouldn't normally make. So my recommendation for that day is follow your curiosities aggressively, because the most random, strangest rabbit hole might just bring you exactly the kind of thing that you needed to move forward and to make your life better. A day after that, on the 19th of May, we have a significant double shift. And this is where things genuinely slow down a lot, because Mars leaves Aries and moves into the sign of Taurus. Mars in Aries has been inflaming and pushing and prodding all of those other planets that have been in Aries. Saturn and Eris and Chiron and Neptune still remain there. But as they're being ruled by Mars, when Mars moves into Taurus, things slow down a lot more. There is a lot less aggression. We might even see some peace talks, some negotiations, although we do have to bear in mind again, that Taurus can be very stubborn and can cling to its own beliefs and views very, very strongly. It's less aggressive, but it's also less willing to compromise. With Venus moving into Cancer on the same day, relationships shift tones as well. Whereas before that, when Venus was in Gemini, we were being curious and light and flirty, and it was all about exploration and mental connection. Now Venus wants to come home. Venus in Cancer wants to feel secure, wants to feel held, also wants to hold other people. It's a very give and take thing with Cancer. It's a beautiful time to truly nurture the people that we care about, but also open ourselves up to being nurtured by them. Gemini season then begins on the 21st of May. The Sun moves into Gemini, and overall this is where we see the lightness pick up. The heaviness of Aries season and the grounded slowness of Taurus season is giving way for something that is light and witty and playful and joyful. And this is where our social calendars tend to fill up very, very much as well. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that as well, but May, June, the social calendar is absolutely packed. There's something going on seemingly every single day. But lean into that is my recommendation, because the connections that you make during Gemini season tend to be surprisingly lasting. Or even if they don't last, they seem to be the ones that come back when you need them most. So enjoy a bit of social time. Enjoy the beautiful late spring, early summer weather. Do some things that you wouldn't normally do. Say yes to some invitations where you wouldn't normally say yes to truly make the most out of this season. Then we need to talk about the 26th of May, because this is by far the most volatile day of the month, because we have Mars, now in Taurus, squaring Pluto in Aquarius. This is frizzy energy that can cause conflict, power struggles, even violence. It might even show up as a way of thinking that there are things that fundamentally have to change. And the square creates a lot of energy. So with that comes the energy to, well, if no one else is going to do it, then we're going to have to change it. The Sun trines Pluto on the same day. So those two things happening in tandem do give us access to new ways of thinking and new ways of achieving that transformation. For example, by considering solutions that were off limits previously, diving into topics that we previously considered to be taboo in order to find a solution and in order to create a better world. Previously unthinkable possibilities may come into the forefront as the only viable solution to a problem that we've been struggling with. On the 29th of May, Ceres also enters Gemini and joining the Sun and Mercury and really bringing out the closing themes of the month. Because this is where curiosity, learning, reading, writing, doing courses, gathering information becomes not just a fun thing to do, but something that genuinely nourishes us. If you're somebody who doesn't usually like to do these kind of things, isn't really into reading, doing courses, having long conversations with people, this is where you might be more tempted to pick up on these things, because they will give us energy rather than drain energy like they might normally do for some of us. And then we close the month on the 31st with a full moon in Sagittarius. So this one is taking the themes of the first full moon on the 1st of May just a level deeper. Whereas at the beginning of the month, we were asked to release stagnant emotions. Now we are asked to go deeper and release the beliefs that are behind the emotions, any kind of stories that we've been telling ourselves that are not helping us anymore. It's about asking yourself not just what feelings from an old situation have you been holding on to that you shouldn't be holding on to anymore, but also what meaning did you assign to that event? Is that meaning actually relevant? Is it helping you or is it hindering you? Is it causing you pain? And then this is the perfect time to release that, to see it clearly and then release it. So that's May. We have a lot of emotional releasing, a lot of healing, but there is a noticeably slower and more grounded energy to it until we shift into Gemini and things become lighter, more light-hearted, and the energy takes on a bit of an electric quality. Now, these are all global transits. We will all feel them to some extent or another, but of course, how they land for you personally, in which area of your life they're going to manifest, and what they are there to teach you depends entirely on your natal chart. So if that's something that you'd be interested in exploring, I do have some slots available for one-to-one consultations, and we can dive really deep into what this is all bringing for you, because 2026 is a loaded year and there is a lot of change available to all of us. So let's lean into it and work with it rather than against it. So check out the description bar if you're interested in a consultation. And if not, make sure you like this video if it resonated with you, and I'll see you in the next one.